I've been sitting on this call for over a year. What happened is I'm sitting at home, it's the afternoon, and this Indian sounding guy calls me out of the blue and wants to complete my life insurance application. He already has my details. We just need to conference in the life insurance company and get everything settled. He then proceeds to call a number and gets a call center representative from the Philippines and dictates my entire application to her as if I'm not even there. It's just like you'll hear it. Who's the doctor? And he'll give the doctor's name. What's the applicant's date of birth? He'll give the date of birth. It was just one of the most bizarre things. I've never had this happen before or since. I'm not going to play the whole thing because it's very boring, and this was at a time when my call recording skills were quite shit, so the audio quality is not the best, but here's some of what went down.
Insurance policy. I hope it's not too late.
No, it's fine.
Okay, perfect. So what I'm going to do for you is basically I have the details already.
Uh-huh.
All I'm going to need to do is connect the call with the insurance carrier, get through with the interview, and get the policy number for you.
Okay.
It's going to take a few minutes. All right, perfect. Quickly verifying a few details. I wanted to ask you, do you have any major or minor health conditions of any type or any medications prescribed to you?
No.
And besides that, your date of birth is, you're a non-smoker, height is 5'6", weight is 135 pounds. And for the recorded line, could you please verify your gender? Your beneficiary on the plan will be your daughter. Her name is Julie Cooper. Your social with me is, and do you already have existing life insurance or will it be the first one? My PC today is just, nowadays it's equivalent to deal with a toddler and a PC. Now, this basically is a final expense program that we're about to be conducting the interview for. It's a whole life insurance policy, covers you for the rest of your life. And God forbid, if anything happens to you, the coverage amount will be delivered to the beneficiaries within 24 to 48 hours of the notification. Besides that, this is a little different as compared to the conventional insurances that you see in the marketplace, whereas, where the policy premiums goes up with age. But with the final expense program, the policy premiums do not go up and the coverage amount does not come down either. And besides that, you will also have the benefits of accelerated death benefit rider, accidental death benefit rider, and cash value. Now, you are 67 years young right now?
Yes.
Why don't you sound like one?
It's because I'm a non-smoker. You ever go to Vegas and you see like the old ladies playing at the slot machine, smoking and drinking? Hi, Sonny, how you doing? It's just so bad. Like,
good example. I like that one. Now, besides that, I'm also going to need your driving license number or state ID number. Do you remember any of them, or do you have any of these cards with you? So that being said, when was the last time you were hospitalized overnight? Have you ever been diagnosed or treated for any medical condition related to any of the organs of the body? Perfect. Within the last 2 years, were you diagnosed with COVID? I'm about to connect the call with the insurance carrier now. The insurance carrier that we have selected for you is RNA, the Royal Neighbors of America. And once the call is connected, they're going to ask a few questions. First, they will ask your details with me, but you will be on the call. You'll just enjoy me giving the details. And then they will start talking to you. And they will ask you if you have been provided the disclosures. Those are the disclosures that I already have provided you.
right.
The RNA disclosures for the accelerated, accidental, and cash value for California. Besides that, they will ask for your beneficiaries' details, so I will provide them to the interviewer. And if any of the details are wrong, you can let me know about it.
Hi, good afternoon. By the way, this is Ina on a recorded line. How can I help?
Hi, this is Nouman. We are conducting a interview for RNA, new application.
All right, sir. By the way, sir, do you have a case number or was pre-check used?
No, ma'am. It's a new application.
Brand new application. All right, give me 1 second. All right, say Nouman, welcome to the Royal Neighbors of America Final Expense. Please complete all questions with the proposed insured and any additional parties as prompted. What is your agent number? Again, I have your first name is Nouman and last name is Mustafa.
That is correct, ma'am.
So to start, again, my name is Ina and I'll be completing your interview today. Please remember we do not allow interpretation of any kind. Are the applicant owner and payer all the same? So, Nouman, this interview will be recorded and the information you provide will become part of your agent's report and the application for life insurance. So, do you have your consent to record this call?
Yes.
All right. So, how about the applicant's social security number and the gender, please?
The gender is female. The social security number is...
And so, gender is female. And what is the applicant's height and weight, please?
The height and weight is 5'6" and 135 pounds.
And how about the country of birth and what state that's the applicant born in?
U.S., California.
All right. And do you have the driver's license number or state ID?
Yes, I do have the driver's license number. It's for California.
By the way, Nouman, for the recording, is the proposed is the proposed insured a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Is the proposed insured subject to backup withholding?
No.
Has the proposed insured ever been convicted of a felony?
No.
I don't know how he was able to answer those questions so confidently, considering that he didn't ask me that prior to connecting to this agent. He doesn't know I've never had a felony, he's just guessing. Anyway, I cannot stress how fucking weird this call is. Why would Nouman ask about COVID? I've never had anyone ask about COVID. Practically everybody has had COVID. I've only ever been asked for my driver's license number when I inevitably fail verification, but in this case, he asked for it right away, and then she asked it from him. Why would they ask if I've ever been convicted of a felony? Why do they care? And just him calling in and basically filling out my application by phone with another person. You know, when I first took this call, I wasn't really sure because I was brand new to this whole thing. But now that I have a year's worth of final expense calls under my belt, I can confidently say this is extremely bizarre. I don't want to go as far as to say that it's a scam. I don't think it is, but it's really, really, really weird.
And which non-forfeiture option is being chosen?
I'm sorry, which option, what?
Which non-forfeiture option is being chosen? Was it cash surrender, reduced paid up, extended term insurance?
Okay, so questions have been changed since the last time I was going through the TPV process.
Right, sir. That is the reason why, Insured Legacy, I think we launched this 2 weeks ago or running 3 weeks. So there were, changes with the question. So the choices I have, Nouman, is cash surrender, reduced paid up, or extended term insurance.
Okay. Is it going to cost her anything, or is it free of cost?
No, sir. Which non-forfeiture option? I'm not quite sure with this, but roughly those agents that will call us will choose reduced paid up. Most of them choose.
Yeah, reduced paid up sounds good. Yeah, that's a good option.
Okay. Which dividend option is being chosen? Paid in cash or left in deposit to accumulate with interest?
Left in deposit.
What is the premium amount do you have, Nouman?
I had $99 approximately.
Okay. So I have here $76.51, and also AD&D is included.
Okay, that's good. If we match the amount of $99, how much would that be?
Okay, so we're going to change the face amount. Well, let's go ahead and try $17,000, I guess.
I don't know about you, but he sounds fucking terrible at his job. Here's 3 options I don't understand. Let's just go with that one. That one sounds fine. And how much is the monthly amount? It's $99. Actually, honey, it's like $76. Well, then if we increase the face value of the policy, how much would it be? And the woman goes along with it.
Oh, for $17,000, $86. How about 19? So if we're going to $19,000, Nouman, that is $95.75. I think we're going to make it on $20. Let's go ahead and try that.
I guess the rates that I was checking on, the rates that were provided to Miss Gardner as well, those rates for standard. I'm just looking at it right now. Yeah, but she should go for level plan.
Standard is level to graded death benefit. So for $20,000, that is $100.56.
Yeah, that'll be a better option because if the plan changes to standard, we will still have the option of $15,000 at $99. So yeah, let's go with that.
Okay. All right. And you want to ask the Miss Gardner if she's or if she will accept the offer for $100?
Right. So, Miss Gardner.
My God, dude. I forgot what a fucking train wreck this call is. Holy shit. How have I been sitting on this for a year? Nothing screams more professional than being 20 minutes into a phone application when the insurance company has already been decided and then going back to the drawing board to decide exactly how much coverage and how much I'm going to owe per month. You can't make this shit up, man.
So as you were hearing, the plan provided to you was a standard plan, which rates were slightly higher. But as she's checking out right now at the same price of $99 to $100, you may be getting $20,000 of coverage as well. Are you comfortable with that?
Yeah, that could work. If anything, it's just extra money for the kids. They can take a nice vacation with that.
All right, so we're on the beneficiary section here. So, Nouman, how many beneficiaries are there, sir?
Okay, the beneficiary, there's one, and the relationship is daughter. The name is Julie Cooper.
So, Nouman, did you personally review the ID of the proposed insured?
No.
And how long have you known the proposed insured?
About 30 minutes.
And are you related to the proposed insured? I'm not quite sure why there were questions like this here. So,
No.
And what is your license number?
My license number?
Yes.
Okay, there's been a lot of changes now.
At the beginning, Nouman told me that
It's going to take a few minutes.
because it was like 5 in the afternoon. It was dinner time essentially, and I'm starving and I'm stuck faffing around with the. Anyway, about 2 weeks after this call, Nouman called and texted me that there were discrepancies with my application and if I could please call him. He wanted his commission. Now, this was at a time when I was on a break from taking scam calls. I had 2 different phone numbers. They were getting nonstop scam calls. My phones were always ringing, even on weekends. And I just burnt out hard and just put everything away and just ignored it for a couple weeks. And so I did see his text message, but again, I was so burnt out on this process that I just completely ignored him. Who is this guy anyway? Well, his name is Nouman Mustafa, and with a name that unique, it wasn't hard at all to find him in the Florida Department of Insurance. You can see his license number, his home address, email, and phone numbers I have to censor because of YouTube's privacy policies, but I have to emphasize this is completely public information that you can find yourself if you wanted to. This 310 number is different from the 512 number he texted me from. That 512 number is no longer in service. Presumably, he changed his phone number. If we look under the California Department of Insurance, we can see that he was licensed to sell life insurance starting on November 28, 2023. Interestingly, there's an agencies or organizations field on his profile, which I've never seen with anyone else. This licensee is authorized to transact on behalf of the following insurers, and it says World Financial Group Insurance Agency, LLC. So I'm not sure if this is like his broker or his employer or what's going on with this. If you check their website, they talk about financial stability and how their employees are financial professionals. But if you click on finance fundamentals, it's all life insurance. Which is ironic considering the fact that a whole life insurance policy is actually one of the worst financial decisions you could ever make. Link in the doobly-doo, but I digress. So I leave him on read. But about 2 months later, I followed up with Nouman, and this is part of why I've been dragging my feet on editing and uploading this video. Normally, I like to follow up that day or at least within the week so that it's fresh. Given that it's been 2 months, will he even remember me? Will he remember where he got my lead from? What will he have to say for himself? Well, here's what he had to say for himself.
Hello.
Hi, Nouman. How are you?
Hi, I am good. How about you?
Good. I was just following up. We had a call back in February, I want to say, for a final expense policy. And so you called me in the afternoon to kind of finish up a policy that was done. And then you called like a call center for an insurance company and some woman who was in the Philippines and then just like dictated the application to her verbally. And it took like 45 minutes. You remember that?
No, I don't actually remember that. What's your name again?
Lindsay Gardner.
Lindsay Gardner.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that rings a bell. Okay, how can I help? Like, did we write your policy? I do not actually remember, so you have to,
Yeah,
let me know a little bit
yeah,
more.
it was like, in fact, it was a long time ago. I think you texted me that like there were some discrepancies or something in the application. I don't remember, but I just never got around to like getting back to you. And then of course it was so long ago. I'm like, does he still have the same? Is he still doing insurance?
So first, what I need to understand here is, did we write your policy down? Did you pay for it, or the process is still incomplete?
So I don't remember how it got to be that we got into communication. Again, you called me out of the blue, like at 5 o'clock, like, hey, or do you want to complete this application? Let's do this. And then you called some call center somewhere and gave over like your agent ID and all that stuff. And then, the woman in the Philippines would be like, who's the applicant's primary care provider? And you would say, Dr. So-and-so.
Oh,
And
okay, okay, okay. Now I understand what you're talking about.
verbally went through the whole application.
Right. So what happens is, basically, as an agent, my job is to write a policy. Write a policy means that as an independent underwriter, I work with multiple different insurance carriers like RNA, LBL, Lincoln Heritage, Prosperity, American Amicable. There are multiple different carriers. I do not actually remember, and I do not have the data in front of me as well, but just to give you an understanding of it. So what happens is, as an agent, my job is to connect the customer with the carrier. The carrier is the insurance company that protects the customer, right?
Right.
That's why when we connect the customer to the carrier, now the carriers have third-party interviewers. Sometimes they're Filipino, sometimes they're Indian, sometimes they're, because they're third-party. They're not like sitting in America, they're third-party. Third-party means that they give a contract to other companies to conduct the interview. Companies themselves, they do not conduct the interview themselves, right? So there are like 3-4 different parties involved in one interview, right? So that might be the reason that you were connected to somebody who was a Filipino, and then you were talking to me, and then we were writing your application down. That might be the whole process that you are suggesting about. Now, what I need to understand is, like, do you want to continue the process? Do you want a policy? How can I help? That's what I'm trying to understand.
I just wanted to see if you were able to tell me where you got my phone number from, but I think because it's been so long, you probably don't have notes on that. Because I get a ton of these calls about final expense, and they're all over the place in terms of how they go. Sometimes the call center, which you're right, is usually foreign. Usually it's like Pakistani or Indian. They'll close me right then and there. Sometimes they transfer me to an American agent who's independent. Sometimes they transfer me to an American company, and so it's an agent of like Final Expense Direct or Insurance Supermarket. Yours is the only one that I've had where you called someone else and it's just so different. So I'm like, what was that? But I mean, the thing is that for all of these, I've been through this process so many times. You have no idea. I could be an agent with how many times I've done this. My phone number is on the do not call list, and so the only time I ever do final expense stuff is when people call me trying to offer me a final expense policy. So I'm just trying to figure out who's making these calls. Like, who are these call centers in Pakistan and India that? How do they get our phone numbers? How do they generate leads for people? Because again, I never filled out an interest form. I never went to a website. I never phoned around. I just sat at home and someone called me offering me a final expense policy, an illegal call using a spoofed number. So I'm like, so where do you get your leads from? Like, how do you get people to write policies for?
So I cannot exactly help you, like, to the dot.
Right.
Like, I don't even remember having this conversation, to be very frank with you. But I can give you a better understanding of the process as much as I know to help you a little bit.
Right.
So what happens is, usually, most of us, we have social media accounts, right? And when you see an advertisement on a social media, are you aware of the cookies and, the softwares?
Yeah.
And okay. So when you click on an advertisement, they save the data, right? Because you allowed them already the application, like, for example, Instagram or the Facebook or, stuff like that, to Twitter, all the other applications. So you already have allowed them to gather the cookies. So once you click on it, that data gets accumulated, and that accumulated data then transfers over to these companies like call centers and like advertisement companies. Like for example, if sometimes you may have noticed, like you are searching some specific thing on Google, and the same similar stuff, you may see advertisements of that similar stuff on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram. So this is how this whole process actually works. You may not have given your details to somebody, but if you have click on an ad, for example, which is connected to insurance, which is regarding insurance in one way or the other, that is how your data gets accumulated by these companies like Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. So that's my understanding of it. I do not know the exact detail of it. I'm sorry. I may not be able to help you the exact, like where your number has been generated or given to the call centers and stuff like that. I'm not going to be able to help you exactly with that. I'm sorry. So what happens is that, let's say, for example, Facebook has accumulated your data. I'm just taking an example of Facebook, right? Facebook has accumulated your data. Facebook has data of, like, let's say, billions of people. There are like 7 billion people in the world, and there are like 9 or 10 billion downloads of Facebook. So Facebook almost has everybody's data, right? Now, Facebook has accumulated data of everybody. What they do is they sell their data. There are like different documentaries about it. You can, if you need to understand it in depth, you can go ahead. If you have a pen and a paper, I can tell you the name of a documentary that will help you get your answer as well, by the way. Do you have a pen and paper? So the first documentary's name is The Great Hack. You may be able to find it on Netflix. I suppose it's on Netflix. And the other one is The Social Dilemma. Once you watch these two documentaries, it will help you to understand how how the data has been accumulated and how this specific data, our pointers, are usually transferred over to these companies who basically use those data to advertise and to sell us the products that we might be interested in. Now, once they sell their data to a call center, for example, that is called raw data, right? Now, the raw data then gets filtered out for the people who are actually interested in a specific product, right? For example, final expense insurance. So once, they call like 1,000 different people and one of them says, yes, I am interested, then it gets filtered out into the list of the people who are actually interested in the product, which is insurance, right? And then that specific data gets sold to another party. And then there are different layers to it. Before you get the insurance, before you pay for the insurance, there's like insurance company. There's like a third party interviewer, which is basically working for the insurance company. There's the call centers who transfers calls over to me, customers over to me, like for yourself, for example. And then I pay them and I get paid by the insurance company as well. So there is a lot of information that I may not be able to explain the whole thing to you, but this is the core of this whole thing to give you a better understanding of it.
I've been through tons of so I take the final expense calls and I just bait them with fake information just to see where they go. Because again, these are people, my number's on the do not call list. These policies are usually targeted at people who are 40 to 80, like you guys are targeting seniors usually. I'm nowhere near that age, but they keep calling me, so I just keep taking them. And yours is the only one that I've been through where you called someone else and like, I've never ever seen that before or since. I've never had that happen. So I'm like, this is unique. And it sucks though, because like, obviously you're a legitimate person, you're a broker, you work with insurance companies, like this is all by the book. You don't deserve to get caught up in this, but it's the same as these foreign call centers that are calling, spoofing their phone number. God knows what they do with your information because they ask you for a social and everything, violating do not call list. Like there's some really shady stuff happening with this in addition to, good people. And so...
Yeah, there are. Okay, so on behalf of my field, I can tell you this: there are a lot of scams going on and spams going on and shady stuff going on, but not in the final expense insurance field, because we have a very simple process. Talk to the customer, tell them the product, connect them with the insurance underwriter, connect them with their insurance carrier, get them the policy, they pay, we get paid. Simple as that. Now, there are many different like verticals, I would say, that are going through spams and scams and stuff like that. I will not be able to explain that to you right now, at least. But not in final expense. One thing that is, I agree on that. That it's very annoying about final expenses. There are a lot of people doing final expense, and there are a lot of calls generated for final expense. Maybe because it's legit out of like 100 different verticals or products. So that's why there are a lot of people who are trying to generate calls for final expense.
Because I just get so many of these spam calls, and I thought, well, instead of ignoring them, why don't we just take them and just see where they go?
What I would suggest to you is, this is going to be my pitch to you. What I would personally suggest to you is, go ahead and become a final expense agent yourself. Honestly, it's not that difficult. It's only going to cost you like $200 to $400 maybe, depending upon the state you're in. And then once you are a final expense agent, you may be able to earn like maybe $5,000 to $10,000, depending upon the process that you acquire.
Right.
Five to 10,000 in a month. So it's good money. The process is already in the market, and you may be able to earn good money. And then once you are an agent, we can get along, and I can provide you customers, and then you can talk to them the exact details that you're talking to me.
I know. If you can't beat them, join them. Suffice to say, I'm not going to become a life insurance saleswoman. Well, that was lackluster, wasn't it? You can see why I've been dragging my feet on editing that for the last year. I will say he was very nice. I just didn't appreciate that he totally glossed over the do not call stuff and instead went into his diatribe of, well, Facebook has your information. It's called the big hack. It just kind of went all into the weeds instead of just acknowledging that there's lots of illegal calls with this, and that's how people are getting their leads. Final expense is quite a crowded space. There are hundreds of thousands of life insurance agents out there, and he's just one of them.